Okay, you guys, happy Saturday. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully, you guys got a chance to listen to those videos that I told you guys about on my channel. You know, um, I wanted to get on here to let you guys know that I did do a poll, and you guys should definitely go and check out that poll pertaining to relationships with men. Um, there is a lot of controversy stuff going on right now with a lot of these content creators who are coming to social media and they are married and dating men, but they have a platform that is encouraging women to decenter men. And I have told you guys on here numerous of times that you cannot be involved in a relationship with a man and say that you're decentering men. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You can't be in a relationship with a man and say that you're going to decenter men. When you decenter men, you're completely walking away from romantic relationships with men. And if you have no desire not to deal with the man ever again, having babies, getting married, having intimacy with the man, then yes, you have chosen to decenter men. And, this is why these men are on here not taking the 4B movement serious. Not that we care or we should care about their opinion, but you cannot get on social media and say that you're decentering men when you're still in bed with men. You're still going out on dates with men. You're still trying to be intimate with a man. That's not decentering, ladies. And I think a lot of these larger platforms who are out here encouraging you to decenter men, they need to actually live by what they're preaching and teaching on their channel. I have chosen to decenter men. I'm decentered for men. I don't plan on getting in another relationship with a man another day of my life. And I know that it may be strange to a lot of people. Well, Akina, you're young. Love is out there. Don't give up. Look, it's not even about that. It's not even about that. How many times have I heard people tell me that, you can still find love. There's good men out there. Somebody would love you and da 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 da. It's not even about that. This is a subconscious decision that I made for myself because I know the nature of men and I know how men are. And I have gone through everything that I'm not going to say what I deserve to go through, but I've gone through everything that I needed to go through dealing with men. and it's not something that I want to continue on in my life. I don't want to be attached to another man. I don't want to get married to another man. I don't want to have any more men children. I'm not looking to be intimate with the man. I don't care how the man looks. I don't care how much money he has. I damn sure don't care how big he is in bed. I don't care. When a woman reaches this point, there's nothing that can be done. When a woman has reached this point of awareness and understanding and acceptance that it's not just one one shoe fits all pertaining to you men. Like, I've dated all different races of men. I have not dated black men, and I have no desire to date you guys. You know, but just based upon my experiences of being around you black men, it is enough for me to know that I don't want any experiences with you guys. I don't want any experiences with none of you men. Um, because it's always something traumatic or dramatic or chaotic with you men. And I don't want to go through that. There is absolutely no benefit for me to deal with one of you, regardless of what race you are. I don't care what race you are. I've turned down all different races of men. And I've told them that it's never gonna happen with you and I. I'm never gonna have sex with you. I'm never gonna go out on a date with you. I've turned men down on for dates. And it's not because, I don't find certain men attractive. It's just that I have no need to entertain my presence in front of a man. I have no need to get dolled up to entertain a man. And I know at some point in time, sex is going to happen between a woman and a man if she's going out with him and that man is spending money. I have no need to entertain a man. Like, I'm for real out here decentered for men. And what I'm noticing is the only women who are really adapting to the 4B movement are lesbians, bisexual women, asexual women, demisexual women, aromantic women, women who just don't have a sexual desire for you men. And I'm gonna just be honest with you men, because y'all think that women like me are hurt, or we just haven't found the right man. No, 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 no. This has nothing to do with that. There are some women out here who really don't want you men romantically, and you need to accept that. I can exist with you. I can cohabitat with you in the same existence without sleeping with you. Okay, I can function in the world. I can say hi to you. I can do business with you without you trying to be intimate with me. We don't have to have sex because I said hi to you. We don't have to have sex because I asked you to come and cut my yard and I hired you to do that. I don't have to have sex with you because you are a man and I'm a woman and I'm single and you're single. No. I there are just some women out here, ladies, who know for a fact they're never ever going to deal with another man again. They've gone through everything they went through. I'm not going to say what they needed to or had to. Whatever experiences these women had with men, they've reached a point they're not gonna go through it again. I have seen enough and experienced enough with you men to know I'm not dealing with another one of you again. And it's not coming from a place of hate. It's not coming from a place of bitterness. It's coming from a place of awareness. I had the experience that I had. I went through what I went through. Uh, I forgave. I haven't forgot. I lived. I grew, I evolved, and guess what? I'm not about to give up my peace again for another one of you men. Really anybody who's coming with all that toxicity and chaoticness and all that drama, I'm not giving that up for nobody else. Akina has lived her life. Okay, Akina has lived her life. You guys, I've lived my romantic life with men. I just don't want to give up my space again for another man. When I say space, I'm talking about my house, my freedom, my liberation, just all of it. And men would call women like me, oh, you're just selfish. No, I'm not being selfish. It's called self-preservation. If I know for a fact that I don't want to get married, I don't want to have any more kids, and I don't want intimacy with you men, why do you expect women like me to entertain you? When you men should get out here and pursue women who want to have your babies, you should get out here and pursue women who still want to open up their legs to you and have sex with you. You should go and entertain women who still want to walk down the aisle and wear that gown. I walked down the aisle. I wore the gown. I waited until I was married to have my children. I married as a virgin. I'm not here for you men's satisfaction, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not here for your satisfaction. I'm not here for your validation. I'm not here to stroke the male ego. I'm not here to keep appeasing the patriarchal system. I just don't care about any of it. And all of you men who are on these mics and podcasts telling women what they need to do, what they should do to be these top tier women for you men, I don't even care about that. I'm tired of you men telling women who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to live, how we're supposed to wear our hair, how we supposed to function in order to be picked by one of you. I don't care about any of that. I'm not here to be picked by any of you. Better yet, I'm not the Uno. Just go ahead and pull out the skip boat. Just skip me. Skip women like me who don't want you men. There are just some women out here who don't want you men. We've been there, we've done that, we had the experiences, and we don't want to go back through it again with y'all. I mean, fair is fair. So what are women like me gonna do? We're gonna continuously keep going our own way, and we don't need a 4B movement. We don't need to put it on a T-shirt. We don't need to put it on a hat. We damn sure don't need to scream it out loud on top of the rooftop. There are just some of us who don't want to be bothered with you men. How about that? How about that? But when you tell a man that, oh, how dare you choose to be single by choice? You're not single by choice. You just haven't met the right man who wants you. Or you haven't met the right man that you're interested in. No, I come across all types of men. Fat men, short men, tall men, you know, men who are well endowed, men who are not well endowed, all different races of men. And it's the same thing with you men. I just don't want to be bothered by you men anymore. I rather enjoy my peace than to keep exhausting my energy into another human being to make them feel good. Because this is what all of this is about. This is about, especially with the male loneliness epidemic. I'm not responsible for you men's happiness. I'm not. I am responsible for my happiness and my children's happiness and where they're going to go from here. I'm not responsible to make you men feel good in a world that you have created that has largely benefited you since the beginning of time, that has put women like me beneath you. You men have created this whole entire system. You created a religion. You created the institution of marriage to benefit you. Ladies, everything that's going on with these men in this system, men have said they built the world. So why is there a male loneliness epidemic? Why are men crying and whining online because they can't get women? You would think that the most powerful man in the world who's built the patriarchal system would be happy. You men can get all the sex that you want, all the sex that you want. So why are you upset at a particular subcategory of women who don't want to have sex with you? There are just some women out here, you guys, who just want to be left alone. And I'm telling you, I want to be left alone. I want to be left alone. Well, Akina, what if you meet the what if shoulda coulda woulda shoulda. I'm not thinking about meeting the right man or any other man for that matter, because when I'm living, I'm not thinking about a man. I'm not. When I'm talking to a man, I'm not thinking about, oh my God, I need to have sex with him. Oh my God, I wonder if he's the one. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh, the only women who are thinking like that are women who still need male validation. You still need to have sex with a man. I don't need to have sex with you men. Y'all need sex, men. Y'all have made sex to be your hierarchy of needs, and sex is not a need, okay? It is a want. Sex should only be preserved for husband and wife and procreation. Outside of that, I don't need to have sex with you men to make you feel good. You're horny, use your hands. Use your hands instead of using women to get your kinks off. I'm not looking to be intimate with you men. Why? Why do I need to be intimate with you? Why? Because that's what human beings do. No, human beings just don't go around sleeping around with multiple people to make themselves feel good. And if you're going to be intimate with somebody, there needs to be an emotional, mental, and spiritual connection, as well as a physical attraction prior to you laying down with somebody, being intimate with them. And like I said, sex should only be preserved for husband and wife and procreation purposes. And if I'm not planning on having a baby, I don't need to be having sex with you men. And if you're not my husband, I don't plan on having sex with you. So when I tell men that, well, what do you do when you're horny? Well, I have toys. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do, man. But to lay down with one of you because you are a man and you have a penis does not grant you the access to have sex with me. And then you would have to be an attractive person for me to even want to lay down with you. And a lot of you men are not attractive to women. And you may not have the package for women to even be satisfied in bed. But even beyond that, women don't owe you men sex. Just because you see an attractive woman doesn't mean you're supposed to have sex with her. Or just because I see you as an attractive man doesn't mean I want to have sex with you. I could just find you physically attractive without trying to violate into your space or overstep your boundaries. But a lot of you men can't do that. You just can't see an attractive woman and just see her as an attractive woman and go on about your business. Just like a lot of you men cannot accept rejection. When a woman tells you she's not interested in you or she's not interested in a relationship with you, instead of you men just accepting that and going on about your business, you still try to force yourself onto a woman. And you do very weird things to make a woman try to get with you. You know, flashing the money around or showing off your private genitals. That does not turn women on when you men do that. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how big you are in bed. I don't care how you look on the outside. If I'm not interested in you, nothing that you will do will make me interested in you. Do you know how many men have sent me pictures of their private genitals and how many men have flashed the amount of money that they have? But it still did not turn me on to you men. I am convinced women who are not turned on by you men are possibly gay. They're possibly lesbian. They're probably questioning their sexuality. And you men don't think about that. You just think that every woman should want you and all this stuff here. And there are just some women out here who don't want you men. They don't want to deal with the headache of a relationship. They don't want to deal with the headache of what comes in a relationship, the stress, the drama, the chaos, the risk. And this is why women are just choosing to be single. You know, there are just some women out here who, you guys, they will never ever get married, date, or have children. That's just the reality. And society should get used to it. And I don't think society has accepted this because the traditional way, the heteronormative way, is for a man and a woman to be together. And that's not everybody's reality. And that's the part society is not looking at. Everybody isn't meant to be a mother. Everybody isn't meant to be a wife. Everybody isn't meant to just use up their body to please men. And I don't see the benefit in relationships. I don't see the benefit in that because you can still be married and still be faithful and loyal to your partner, and then they can still turn around and cheat on you while you're married to them. I'm convinced that a lot of people have lost their morals and their values pertaining to how relationships are supposed to be. And people are just out here playing with the idea of love and commitment. And you're not really serious about love and commitment. And I don't want to get off key here, but like I said, there's just some women out here, men, who like their freedom too much. They like their liberation so much. They're traveling. They're living their best lives without you men. And I think a lot of women believe the notion that you would be these providers, these protectors, and these leaders. And women believe that. And I was one of those women who believed that until I actually got married and realized that the very man that you're marrying could be the very villain who could take you out of the story. I'm not going through that again. I'm sorry. And then again, I'm not sorry. When I divorced and I created the life that I wanted for me and my children, I did that. And it was not to deal with another man again after that. I'm watching my sisters go through hell right now with the men that they're with. I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that. I did tell you guys about my friend girl up in Washington State. Her husband, abusing her like crazy. We are not signing up for that no more. A lot of you men have ruined women to the point of no return. I'm talking about some serious abuse, and I don't know. I had to cut her off, y'all, because every week she would tell me about what her husband was doing, and I'm like, girl, you can get out of this. You can get out of this. But she chose to stay in that because she thought she could change or fix her husband. She thought giving him an ultimatum would make things better. And he told her whatever he wanted her to know, and he went right back to doing what he was doing. And every week, y'all, every week, she was calling me, telling me about her husband and what he was doing and what he wasn't doing and all this stuff here. You guys have to understand, I have girlfriends who are married to men, and some of them, their marriages are not so great. I did tell you guys about the friend girl that I have, and we're still friends. But since that incident and what her husband tried to do with me, that put tension between her and I. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that story where her husband was coming on to me in the front of her. And she's like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, ask your husband. And he admitted it that he was attracted to me. And she said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And I says, girl, I would never, ever ruin our friendship behind your husband. That right there, that right there, okay, that right there. And she was the kind of friend, oh, you can stay at my house. No, no, I have a lot of friends like that. You can just bring the kids and y'all can just come stay at my house with me and my husband. Nope. We got an extra room. Nope. If we got to go somewhere, I will meet you wherever we're going to go in town. Like from where I live to Baton Rouge is 30 minutes. And she would be like, just come on to my house. We got an extra room. And I'm like, yeah, me and my husband, we got an extra room here. Mm-mm. No, I don't stay at my friends' houses who are married. I don't know about y'all, but I don't stay at their house. And he was real serious about him and I and my friend having a threesome. And I'm like, girl, check your husband before I check him. And he's like, what? Why we just can't do this? Y'all, he was serious as hell about me, him, and his wife, my friend, having a threesome. And I'm like, And she says, when did this come about? I says, girl, I don't even know anything about what your husband is talking about. She says, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? I never stayed at her house. I never gave her husband the indication I wanted him. But clearly, he was watching me instead of watching his damn wife. Come to find out, you guys, there's other things about her husband that she did not know. Yeah. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what's going on with you. And I'm glad I was there when it happened. Instead of him trying to get my number through his wife to privately message me, because that could have totally went left. But she saw what she needed to see with her husband right then and there, and it was just out the blue, random. And I don't know if he was testing her boundaries or see how she would respond to that. And she was like, we don't do this in our marriage, Akina. And I'm like, girl, you don't have to explain your marriage to me. That's between you and your husband. And I'm like, mm-mm. Y'all, after that, I left her house. They started arguing. I left. I left because that could have went left. And she didn't get mad at me. She says, I can't believe my husband. I says, girl, in my mind, I'm like, girl, I can fucking believe your husband because I've seen this so many times where Friend girls invite friend girls over. Husband is there. Husband's making pass at friend girl. Hmm. And she has that type of husband where he has wandering eyes. And I says, girl, you got to check this. Like, are you gonna check your man? Like, don't have me check your husband. Don't have me checking because it's not gonna be good. She says, girl, I don't care what you do with my husband. I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't want your husband. She says, I know you don't want my husband, but at this particular point, I wouldn't care if you go off on him. I says, no, that's not my place to do that. But I did put him in his place, and he says, well, what are y'all upset about? I mean, you guys, he was so serious about me, him, and his wife, my friend girl, doing this, and I'm like, I told her I have to go because I have never saw your husband in the way he's talking right now, or you. And I told her husband, I says, look, if we really want to get technical, and if I really wanted to sleep with somebody, I would sleep with my friend girl before I sleep with you. Y'all should have saw the expression on his face. He says, damn, I knew you were attracted to women, but damn, you attracted to my wife too. I says, yeah, yeah. I said, yeah, I am. If we really want to get technical, bro, yeah, I really am. He says, well, damn, you trying to take my wife with me? I says, well, damn, you trying to sleep with me and your damn wife. Make it make sense. He says, damn, that's what y'all be doing when y'all be leaving. Y'all be doing I says, no, I've never touched your wife. But if I wanted to touch your wife, bro, I could. Y'all should have saw the expression on that man's face when I said that shit. And I think I amplified their argument. And she says, I'm not gay, Akina. I says, I know you're not gay. She says, you really feel like that about me? I says, I'm attracted to women. Yeah, you're an attractive woman, but no, I would never disrespect you the way your husband's disrespecting you and me right now. But I'm trying to make a point to your husband that while he's checking for me, I'm not checking for him. I'm checking for other things. And that was the point he learned that day. And like I said, their marriage had a lot of issues in it. You know, we talked after that, and she was like, Akina, I had no idea. And she just kept on apologizing to me. And I says, look, I don't know what's going on in you and your husband's marriage, and I don't want any parts of it. But this right here is some dangerous shit, you know, because if your husband is making these gestures at me, what will he do with the rest of us? And, you know, he's never come on to my other friends. We're all friends, right? We all went to school together and everything. And he's like, wow, wow. Akina, I had no, I knew you were like attracted to women, but I had no, I mean, his whole demeanor changed when I said that. I think I hit his ego, y'all. And he was like, damn. And then I think he really just thought that as to be some kind of a challenge. Well, fuck all that. If you feel like that, let's just really do this thing. And I'm like, no, no, bro, I don't see you like that. He says, what? I says, no, man, I don't see you in that light for real, for real. I'm flattered, but no thanks. So, and you know, it's crazy what people are out here doing, you guys. And luckily for me, I have real friends who I can really talk to about this type of stuff. And I have a couple of friends, you guys, who don't want a husband. They have completely devoted their whole entire life to just working and making money. You know, I did tell you guys about the one friend girl that I have who is way older than me. And she travels and she works from home a lot, and she's asked me to work for her company and travel with her and make money. And you know, she has no kids. uh don't mention marriage to her, don't mention children to her, and don't mention living with the man. She lives in a beautiful home, two-story home, 6 bedrooms, and no man is in there. And she is doing quite well for herself. And then my other friend girl, because I have 5 friends, 2 of my friends, including myself, are single. Okay. The rest of them have boyfriends and or husbands. I did tell you guys about the one friend girl who's a lawyer, right? And she leveled down to get with the black man. And here's the thing: all of them are with black men who are dating or dealing with these men, just like with my sisters. So she leveled down with a dusty black man who didn't have shit, and she elevated him up. Right? He ended up leaving her to go get with the non-black woman, and he's trying to take her for the house, the cars, and everything. And it kind of reminds me of the B. Smith situation. And he's trying to take the kids, their kids that they have together. And I mean, I, I made the mistake of going over there one time, and she was in there, he was in there, and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. He came there with the non-black woman to come and get some stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, something bad about to happen. What did I do? I got my black ass up, and I told her I'm about to excuse myself. And she says, no, I need you here to be a witness. I said, damn witness to what? She says, I need you to be here to be a witness. For what? And she was gonna hurt him. She was gonna hurt him, y'all. He come up in there with that non-black woman coming to get some stuff she paid for. And this white woman sitting in her parking lot, and she she was really distraught at that time, y'all. And he come up in there, and I mean, they got into it, and y'all, uh, I said, oh no, oh hell no. And she says, no, I need you to be here. And their kids were in there. I'm like, what the hell am I here for? What is getting ready to happen? And when I saw all of that, no, 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 no. And she had me there, the chitty chat about this, and I was the comforter type of friend. And she says, I see why you're single and why you never remarried. And she was the one who helped me with my divorce from my ex-husband. Yeah, I have those types of friends, you guys. And this girl here had to go and get her two lawyers, y'all, because her husband really tried to take her for everything that they had, everything that she worked hard for. He was trying to come and get that. And to this day, you guys, even though this happened 2-3 years ago, because I shared this on here, this girl is still going through a divorce battle. They're still going through a divorce battle. He moved on to the non-black woman, and she does not want this non-black woman raising her black kids. And she told him that. And the level of betrayal there really hurted her to her core. She ended up selling the house that she had and getting into a smaller home for her and her kids and trying to start over, but she's still going through that nasty divorce process. And I need you guys to understand, sometimes divorces are not quick in immediately. Sometimes these men drag these divorces, especially when there is property, assets, and resources and kids involved. And she's fighting like hell to protect what's hers. So she had to end up selling her home because he tried to come and get that. And then she turned around. And what protected her there was the fact that she had evidence that proved that he was cheating upon the time that they bought that home, or she got that home together, or whatever. Um, Outside of that, this man has made her life a living hell. And I think he's purposely doing this so that he can strip her of everything that she has. So when I got folks telling me about marriage and all this shit here, look, don't come tell me nothing about no marriage. I have sisters who are married. I have sisters who are dealing with men. I have friend girls who are dealing with men. And I've made it personally clear to my friends that y'all know that I'm single. Do not hook me up with any man that y'all may come across or any man that y'all may know. And they say, Akina, you don't have to worry about it. And I tell them, even if your little single friends come around, let them know that I'm unavailable. If we ever go somewhere and y'all friends show up, I just don't want that headache dealing with none of you, none of these men out here. Akina loves to travel. Akina likes to make her money, and Akina is not going to give up her space or freedom anymore. And I say all that to say that some of you women need to be for real serious about decentering men, because you have to be a strong minded woman to get to this place of saying, I'm not going to deal with men anymore. I don't care if they're good. I don't care if they're not good. I don't care about anything. I'm choosing me for a chance. I'm choosing me from here on out. And a lot of you women can't do that. I understand that y'all like the sex with men, y'all like to date men, you like to go out with men, all this stuff here. That's great. That's great when it's the right type of man. When it's the right type of man. Outside of that, your whole entire identity and life should not be consumed around a man. Okay? It shouldn't be. And a lot of y'all have made your lives to be around men. Your whole entire identity, personality, existence is consumed in a man versus somebody like me. I can talk to a man, I can do business with a man without laying down with one of these men. I don't have to be intimate with these men. I don't. I don't have to do that. I actually like being single, you guys. I enjoy being single. I like my freedom and liberation without having to answer to a man. And it ain't even just in marriages. Some of you women are answering to men in relationships. The when, where, what, why, and how. I don't answer to men. And these men, they don't like the fact that you don't need them. They don't like the fact that there are women out here who really don't need them. These men hate the fact that there are women out here who can say proudly with their chest that I am fine being by myself without the energy of you men. And I really just don't want to give that up. I mean, my marriage took a lot out of me. And even after the marriage, it took a lot out of me. Me raising my kids took a lot out of me. I just don't have the energy to deal with another man again. And it's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of self-awareness and understanding that dealing with men will literally drain the life out of you. It will suck the life out of you. Just like having a baby will suck the life out of you. Because you're carrying another human being in you for 9 months and have to raise that fetus, that child, for 18 years. 18 years, you got to raise that child. And I'm just not signing up for that anymore, you guys. So at the end of the day, you guys, all of the chaos and drama that you men bring to women is why most of us are just done dealing with y'all. Y'all bring the chaoticness and the drama to women. Y'all bring the unnecessary stress to women. Some of y'all have ruined women's lives and everything. And once again, women are not going to. How many times have I had to rebuild my life over and over and over after dealing with you men? Even after my ex-husband, I lightly met men. I just can't go through that, and that's why I put the post in my community wall. Because if you're gonna say you're gonna decenter men and you've decentered men, you need to really be about decentrament. Don't talk about it. You got to be about it. Because I told y'all the 4B movement is completely writing off men altogether. And I think a lot of people are getting this misconstrued that, oh, you can be decentered from men and still date them. That's not what decenterment is. And right now, a lot of these content creators on here are being exposed for grifting. because they're on their platforms telling women that you can decenter men while still going out on dates and having sex with these men. And this is why these men don't think you women are serious about the decentrament movement or the 4B movement. And then this is why when I tell men that I'm not interested in them, they're having a hard time believing that. Not that I have to convince anything to these men, but it's just the principle of the fact I'm not bluffing. I'm really not bluffing out here pertaining to that. So if you're really going to be about decentering, you really need to be about decentering. If you know for a fact that you're done dealing with men and you're just going to be single and you're going to live out your single life and you're going to focus on your career and whatever else, then that's it. But outside of that, if you know that you still want to have access to men and still deal with men, you need to stop saying that you've decentered men. Because 4B women are not out here waiting around on a good man. We're not waiting around on any man. We're not looking for any man. We're not expecting any man. We don't have anything. We just completely written off relationships with men and accepted that the majority of them are never ever going to change or be quality partners for women. And a question was asked on TikTok: what percentage of men do you think are qualified for relationships with women, healthy relationships with women? And the women under his post said less than 5 to 10%. So the likelihood of you meeting this healthy, good man for a relationship, ladies, would be small to none. It would be small to none. So 4B women have accepted that the likelihood of us meeting a unicorn, decent, rare type of man is small to none. And it's not about we should have to get out of our outside of our race and date around. There are horrible men in all of different races. And you guys have never heard me praise one race of man above the other. Now, granted, do I think black women can have a great experience outside of the black community with another race of man? Yeah, I do. But you have more of a dating pool than limiting yourself to one race of man. But to sit down and to assume that all races of men are great, I would be lying if I sat down and said that. And I would be lying to you if I told you that. And this is why I did encourage you ladies to vet these men before really getting out here dealing with them. Even outside of that, this whole entire political climate has changed where you got to be careful that you're not getting with any of these conservative men out here who voted for Trump. And we're learning that not only did non-black men voted for Trump, a lot of black men voted for Trump too. A lot of men have picked up this red pill conservative mindset, which makes the dating pool even smaller pertaining to men who actually respect women and respect their bodily and anatomy rights and human rights. So, like I said, there's a lot that has to be factored in here nowadays when you guys are out here dealing with men. I told you, ladies, that not dealing with these men under this current administration would be the best solution. Because a lot of these men have adapted to this red pill um, rhetoric that we're hearing about and what we're seeing in marriages and in relationships. And Why would you date a man who does not want you to have bodily rights or human rights or even respect the fact that you are a woman and you want to be treated like a human being? So at the end of the day, you guys, you really need to reflect on why you're saying you're decentering men. Uh, because there are some of us out here really living the 4B life. And I can tell you that I'm for real living it. I'm not dealing with a man. I don't have a man in my house. It's just me and my kids. Um, I'm not sleeping with these men. I have no desire to get married again or any of that. There are women out here, ladies, who are actually living the 4B life. Like we're for real living it, whether these men believe it or not. There are some of us out here who have been single in celibate for a very long time. For me, it's coming up to 16 years come next year. That's a decade and some years. I haven't been with a man since my ex-husband. So you do the math. You do the math. But men have convinced themselves that single women are out here getting piped down and having reckless sex with multiple men. And that's not true. I couldn't dare lay down with a man that's not my husband. And I damn sure couldn't lay down with a man with all these STDs working around here, roaming around and stuff. And the way how you men feel about women, why would I lay down with many of you? So I really need you ladies to go over to my community wall and really ask yourself the question: am I really done with men for real, for real? Because if you know for a fact you can't give up the nutter juice, you can't give up the penis, you know for a fact that you are not going to substitute that real penis for a rubber penis, you know for a fact that you want to get married and have a baby with the man, no, sis, you're not decensoring men. No, you're not decensoring men. What you're doing is you're self-preservating for a man until you come across the right type of man. Women like me who are not out here on dates with men, having sex with men, or talking about getting married, I don't even go out on dates with men. I do go out with my girlfriends who are married and dealing with men. They don't call themselves decentered. Even the friend girl who's not married, has no children, plans on not getting married and having any children. And I've even tested her. I says, "Girl, when you gonna have me a god baby?" She says, "Girl, who gonna have a damn god baby? I'm not having no damn babies. I'm waiting on your daughters to have a damn baby." I said, "Well, you can hang that shit up because my girls are not having no babies." And they've even told me that my oldest daughter told me she's not having a baby. She will never ever bring me a grandson or a granddaughter. As you guys know, my 12-year-old daughter is gay. She's attracted to women. And she told me, "Mommy, I'm telling you right now, I'm not ever having no damn babies. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never have a baby for a man." I said, "Well, get the fuck out of here on that." And that's just how she feels, you guys. And I said, "Well, girl, when you gonna ever get married?" She says, "I'm never ever gonna get married. All she wants to do is work, travel, and make money." And all of my friend girls are very attractive and beautiful black women, but they know for a fact that they're not gonna get out here and date or deal with men. So I say all that to say that if you guys are not at that place, be careful calling yourself decentered. Be careful saying you're a part of the 4B movement and you're decentering men. Because I told y'all this movement is not to punish men. It is not to get men to do right. It is not to get men to change. 4B women have accepted that these men are never going to change. We've accepted that these men are never ever going to be the men that women should pick or deal with. These women have chosen themselves over these men out here. We know that the red pill, the monogamy, the patriarchal system, and all of that has ruined the minds of most of these men. Get three out of there. And this is why we have accepted where things are at. We've accepted that. We're not asking you men to change. We're not asking you to do anything. 4B women have just simply walked away from you men, and we wish you well. We wish you men the best of luck. We're choosing our careers and our peace over dealing with you men and all of the headache and stress and drama that many of you have brought into women's lives. And when you men got online and told women to choose better, many of us really applied that message to our lives, and we chose ourselves. Um, but I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. Get breakfast going. But I definitely want you guys to be serious about the 4B movement, because this is not a temporary movement to get men to do what they need to do to become. No, this isn't about that. This movement is for women who know for a fact that they're done dealing with men altogether. And it is political and societal liberation. My happiness is not centered around a man. It's not. If anything, I find that I'm happier when I'm by myself than when I'm with a man. Let me know what you ladies think. I'm going to get off of here. And you guys have a good day.